Yo, what up YouTube? Welcome back to the video. Today's video is the answers to the Q&A we did a few days ago where I asked you guys in the comments below, ask some questions, all Apex related of course, and I have all the questions now. I went right to the comment section, and how I'm going to be doing it is going from the newest to the oldest, and I'll be going down the list. So if I bot out, read something wrong, my apologies. Some of these might overlap just a little bit, but I'm still going to answer them all the way down. So here we go. So the first question, I recently switched to Gibby and I am missing the movement of other legends. How do you make up for that? So the way I make up for it is I like to push with my bubble a lot. If it's forward pushing, you just throw your bubble like pretty far ahead or wherever the enemies are, and you can just freely push without having to worry about getting shot. That's a big perk with Gibby. Start using his bubbles to rotate and push around and stuff like that. His ult the same way. If you want to be able to push forward freely or rotate without a team shooting you, just throw it all right on top of them. You can pretty much move freely. Another big thing that people really don't think about, and it's like in the back of people's minds, or they just don't really think about too much, is the fortified perk. Well, with the fortified, you don't only just get the 15% bullet reduction, you also get not stunned by bullets. So if someone's shooting at you with a hemlock flatline, with Gibby and Caustic, you don't get stunned by that, so you can keep on running. Where other characters, you get that stun lock where you really can't run and you're trying to climb and get out of the way and you really can't. Well, with Gibby, you can freely do that without having to worry about anything. So that's like a big way of being able to still have that movement with Gibraltar. The only thing that's like people struggle with is his height and how big he is, of course, with his hitbox. But after you get past that, it's pretty easy, honestly. So I just recommend always try to use your bubble as much as possible. Next question, who is your favorite pro Gibby player? So I honestly really don't have a favorite Gibby pro player. A lot of the pro players, the Gibby mains, they kind of listen to their IGL. So really don't have any like freedom of their actual gameplay. It's pretty much IGL tells them exactly what to do with their abilities, and that's that. And all they're doing is just ADS and arm shielding. But if I had to pick any of them, it'd probably be Resalta on G2. I'm pretty sure he's their Gibby main. I'm a big fan of them, all controller boys. So just a big fan of that. But other than that, a lot of the Gibbies really don't have I feel like they're like their own free roam, which you really can't in pro scene. You have to follow your IGL no matter what. And not really many Gibbies are IGLs except for whenever Hal does it here and there. If there's anybody else, I really don't pay attention to it that much. I just pay attention to like the select few of the pro teams. Next, I'm thinking of picking up Gibby. Should I practice bubble fighting? That's what you meant to put. Bubble fighting in the firing range. If I don't have someone to practice with, how do I do it with the training dummies? So I actually made a video on this. I'm going to go over to this tab. It is right here. So if you scroll down, if you go to my videos and you scroll down, and here it is, the firing range. And what you pretty much do in it is you go to one of the dummies, and it's the far left one. There's like a few rocks right next to the far left one. You want to start throwing it right there. As you guys, if you just watch this video, you'll clearly see where to throw the bubble, and just start going in and out. And that's how I kind of warm up some days, especially for like tournaments and stuff like that. I will sit there for like 10 minutes. It doesn't take that long at all. Throw the bubble down and just start going in and out. And I make sure to use a shotgun bolt and not use a shotgun bolt. So I'll pick up a PK with a purple bolt and a PK without anything. So you start to get the feel of your shots, like timing, going in and out of the bubble. So that's what I do for that. Can you go into detail when you prioritize gun shield compared to when you hip fire for close combat? Do you treat some weapons different than others? I really don't treat any weapons different than other weapons. I try to stick to I try to stick to always keeping my arm shield up. That's like what I always try to tell people all the time. You have that arm shield to abuse it. So when I'm in bubble fights, close range, no matter what the weapon is, I'm going to arm shield until it breaks. And as soon as it breaks, you're free to hip fire. Now, if you're in a rhythm of ADSing and you're hitting constant shots, let's say you're using the EVA, something that does like low damage, but it's consistent of going in and out. If I hit a 50, another 50, they break my arm shield, I might just keep ADSing because I'm already hitting those consistent shots. But big weapons like the PK, you can pop out, hit them for 100. They can crack your arm shield. Now you can move freely, hip firing, and it's a lot faster, of course, in the bubble when you hip fire. Your movement is at least. So I recommend just trying to always use your gun shield until it breaks, and then immediately you can start hip firing. Very seldom do you really hip fire unless they're really like low HP and you just want to hurry up and get them out the way and then move to the next target. The fastest way to move in the bubble, of course, is hip firing. So you can do it that as well. Next, why do you main Gibby? And if you could change any legend ability, who would it be and why? So the first question is why did I main Gibby? I main Gibby for the simple fact of his kit, pretty much. I like the bubble idea. Um, that was like kind of like on the back burner. The extra arm shield, like the extra health, that was kind of cool too. But I was like on the back burner at the time because Gibby was the worst legend when the game first came out. I really liked his alt. His alt was probably my favorite thing, and I really liked the fact that a character could do damage with their alt, and that's what I want to do. I just switched from Overwatch, so it was between Gibraltar, Bangalore, and Caustic, and Gibraltar's alt, of course, did more damage, did a lot more. Just area, just it like did a lot more damage. Simple as that. Compared to the other two, it's the best way to explain it. And Gibraltar was the very first legend I picked, and I literally day one of looking at the legends, I was reading all their kits and their abilities, and I picked Gibby first game and stuck with him ever since. And then for the second question, if you could change any legend's ability, who would it be and why? I would change Lifeline's alt. Lifeline's alt's not that good. Lifeline's had a lot of changes throughout her entire time of Apex, and I feel like her alt's not that good anymore. You know, you don't want to sit there and wait for the lifeline drop to come down, and then it also takes forever for her to get it back anyway. So what I would like for them to change about that, do like a full rework and have it so she already has her heal drone whenever she queues it, you know, a little bit of heal. I feel like what they should do is with her alt, it covers a bigger area that you don't really have to be really in, and it heals you extremely fast. Um, Not really in. I don't know how to explain it like that. That was awkward. Just pretty much like a bigger radius, I would say. That's a better way to describe it. Like a bigger radius and like it's like stronger heals. Um, so if you're in Storm, you know, it'll probably get you like 50 HP immediately. Of course, that will tick down if it's later in the ring. I don't know how that would go late game, but I feel like they just need to change something with their alt, and I feel like a nice little radius thing of more heals would be good. A nice burst heal, something like that. Something in that nature of healing. Since she already heals with her drone, I feel like something else should be even more with her alt. But that's might be a little weird, but I just feel like her care package doesn't really do that much for the game. All right, next, if Gibby was completely removed from the game, RIP my entire grind for 3 years, um, who would I play? I would honestly probably play Mad Maggie. Mad Maggie is kind of similar so far to Gibby's playstyle, with the aggressiveness and being able to move with shotguns is kind of huge. Bloodhound so far, I've actually enjoyed being in his alt. Fuse is fun for me as well. So it kind of depends like what I'm playing. If I'm playing like pubs, I would 100% just love to constantly run Maggie. And if it was like ranked, it'd probably be probably Fuse maybe because Fuse is free RP for anybody. Also love the rank guides you made. You think you're going to make going to do any more? My bad, I'm a bot lord. Um, I can't read. So yeah, I will be making a lot more rank guides, of course. I've been kind of set back a little bit on Gibby guides. I do have more. I have I think one more Gibby guide to actually go over, and then of course I'll be doing how to get better Gibraltar video. I have clips lined up for that, but I'm also gonna be doing other legends for rank guides. Currently right now that what I'm working with the Convoke boys is the off legend, like off meta legends, and I'll be playing crypto. So I have crypto guides coming, I have Bloodhound coming as well, and also Caustic. So I have three legends lined up to do along with Gibraltar guides for rank to help a lot more people out than just Gibby mains. What's the most paid to win Gibby skin? I'm not much on really knowledge of pay to win skins. My favorite skin though is this one right here. I had this pre-planned. Look, I already have it up. Um, so I think the like big hitbox issue, I never really studied it, which is probably surprising for someone that's played Gibby for 3 years. I feel like this kind of gets in the way a little bit, maybe. But a lot of the things comes down to his arm shield. Like this arm shield right here, there's nothing extra popping out of it. And also, like, of course, he has no like horns, of course, coming out of his head. but his arm shield just has nothing extra. So when you're ADS and doesn't really get in your way, or when you're swapping weapons, nothing really gets in the way of the screen like the Ram skin does in the new gold skin that just came out recently. But there's that skin. It's my favorite. I don't know if it's much pay to win, but it's my favorite so far. It's called Soft Power, and it's the off skin to the Millennium Tusk. What made you decide to main Gibby and become number one with him? So, like a question earlier, what made me decide to play him? I simply like his ult. I wanted the character to do damage, and well, the character's ult to do damage, and Gibraltar was the best choice out of the three at the time. And I lucked out eventually on him getting a bunch of buffs starting kind of season one, but season two, three, and four hitting hard on the buffs. But there's that, and then um, and become number one with him. So when what made me decide to become number one was I was always a competitive gamer. I was always really competitive when it come to any games I played with friends. If it was Call of Duty, I had to have the most kills in the lobby, of course, higher ranked than my friends. So it just all came around as me always want to be better than the people I played with. If it was stat wise, whatever it is, and coming to Apex with something that had a huge leaderboard, and I got into the scene kind of early. I got around, I want to say, 1,000 kills with Gibby, and I was like, let me look up the leaderboard. So I looked at the leaderboard, and I was like top 100 for Xbox, and I slowly but surely grinded my way up. I was like, you know what, I want to kind of hit number one on Xbox, and as soon as I hit number one on Xbox, which took me like a month, I want to say, because game came out in February, and then in March I hit number one on Xbox, closer to April, and I start streaming. And when I hit number one on Xbox, I actually became number two for all platforms at this point in time. And then that made me want to grind for number one on all platforms, and I hit that in middle of May. So I've been number one Gibraltar since mid May of 2019. So we're coming up almost on 3 years of holding my spot. Until the young Lord Chet You Betcha passes me. But until then, I've currently held the spot, and I hope to hold it um, for that 3 year marker. But we'll see what happens there. I don't think I'll be grinding kills, but that's why I became number one Gibby. It was simply just to be better than everybody else. That mindset, at least, that I just want to be the best at it. I did that. I kill grinded, and then I just want to be the best kind of like you want to like whatever I do now with like bubble and the melee and stuff. I want to be use them differently and just make it work. Um, so that's what I've been trying to improve on is just being able to help others also get to that level of knowledge with Gibby and stuff like that. So there's a little story about that. I'm a bot. I play Mystic. Uh, are you supposed to crowd spam with Gibby? It seems it doesn't work sometimes because he's big. And how do I fight against people that do it? Um, it's very hard for me. So a lot of things with fighting with Gibby, you don't really crouch spam too much. Like you don't crouch spam like you would with this Wraith. You still crouch spam because you want to move around. Like you can't just stand still. Even though it doesn't work because he's big, you still have to do it. Even though people are going to hit shots, it's better than you just standing still or moving left or right. It's nice to have a crouch here and there in place as well. A big thing of fighting someone that's trying extremely hard, crouch spamming, is throw your bubble down, force in the bubble fight. That's a big thing with bubbling. You don't bubble just to like you don't try to save bubble to eventually help a teammate out or a third party. You want to make sure you're up for that third party, so you have to throw your bubble down. So throw your bubble down. Someone that's crowd spamming, and a lot of the times they don't really know how to time it well in the bubble, and you can pretty much poopy on them. Simple as that. But when it comes to crouch spamming in the bubble, when you're going out, of course, you can kind of stand up. And then as you go in the bubble, it's nice to crouch because the bubble is not, it's not straight up and down like a box. It's kind of like a dome. So, like, the faster you crouch in, the more your head gets protected from that dome and you're good to go. So, this is Gibby. This is the dome. He's out and he crouches as he comes back in because if he didn't crouch, it takes a little while. But if he crouches, you're more protected. So it's nice to kind of crouch spam in the bubble with your peak being like kind of standing up when you're outside and crouching when you come inside. So you get in the bubble a lot faster. That's a nice little bubble tip right there for you. Do you think the devs will ever bring back fast heals in the bub? They said they want to make Gibby fun, but yet not overpowered, and they want to change something with the bubble. This would be a good way, but I'm not a big fan of it. Even though it helps out everybody, it was really useful. It was a little broken, and people didn't really like Gibby at this time. So I don't think they would. It would make it more fun for people who want to play it in pubs because you can throw it down the bubble, heal faster, and you can just rotate, so you don't have to worry about constantly setting back a little bit to heal or just regret slow healing. You can just throw a bubble down and heal. Another thing with the fast heal is if people got people in the mindset of just throwing bubble down just to heal fast, which wasn't a good habit to have, but a lot of people had it. Do you think Gibby needs to be nerfed, buffed, or stay the same? I think he's at a really solid point. He hasn't been touched since season 8. Other than that, I would like to change at least one thing in the bubble is take away fast res. This might surprise a lot of people, but I see Gibby as a tank. If he throws down bubble, he's there to stay in front of the bubble so the other person can res the guy that's knocked. So if two people are up, one guy's knocked, Gibby throws down bubble. Gibby should be the one protecting while someone else is healing. But him having fast heal, now the person that has less health, no arm shield, has to protect while Gibby is expose big target standing up, rising somebody. So it's a little awkward. So I really don't like that. I wish they would take that away and just give us back the cooldown timer of 20 seconds instead of 30 like it is now, so we get our bubbles back faster. That would be a nice change. What do you prefer using controller? Oh wait, why do you prefer using controller over mouse keyboard when most competitive gamers use this second option? So a lot of people really don't I think realize or think of is a lot of the pro teams consist of one MK player and two controller players. Like a lot of the teams have two controller players at least. So it's just like a lot of like the higher like I guess pubs and rank grinders are kind of MK, and MK is like a lot more skill kind of involved. You're able to like have different movement. But with Gibby, you really don't necessarily need all that crazy movement because you're just a big body anyway and you're playing in the bubble, so you only need to see straight in front of you. So you can have slow sensitivity with Gibby. That's like a cool thing about Gibby. You don't have to have fast sense. You're not really punished if you have slow sense, and you don't have to be on M and K either. You can be a controller and play just fine. I prefer using controller because I've been comfortable with it. I have a wrong mindset when it comes to trying to switch M and K. I feel like I'm on a one-on-one and someone absolutely poops on me because I'm just fumbling around with my keys, and I just feel like I know I would have killed him if I was a controller, so I don't like them thinking that they're better than me for the simple fact that they killed me when I was on MK, but they don't know that. They just know they killed me, and I just feel like if I was a controller, could have killed them, and it's just the wrong mindset to have when you're trying to switch. Because I just don't like someone thinking they're better than me for me being kind of, I guess, handicapped, so called. So that's kind of like a weird way to put it, but I just had the wrong mindset when I tried to switch to MK. So I just been sticking with controller, always been a controller and comfortable with it. Tips for grinding kills, for example, where to land. The best way to grind kills is always land hot. If you're struggling landing hot, land somewhere close to the hot zone of wherever a lot of people are landing. It's always good to sit there and wait a few seconds to see where everyone's landing. Don't wait too long. If you see like a lot of people jump out of the ship and go straight down, jump out immediately, go straight down, or go the outskirts around where they're jumping, and get right into the fight. And try not to loot. It's kind of like when you're going for a 20 bomb. Don't sit there and loot forever. Loot whatever you exactly need, if it's even one box, and just get out completely. And start hunting down more kills. And don't worry about your wins. That was a big thing whenever I was kill grinding. Is I could care less about my wins. I could drop down, get 9 kills. And pretty much if I got slaughtered, I would immediately just not care, back out, and go to the very next game. So it was a sad point in my life when I had to do that with randoms, and I felt bad. So I was glad when they added no fills. Why am I such a bot? Mystic asked. It's because I learned everything from you, Mystic. Much love, brother. If you guys don't know, Mystic is the brethren, and he's always been supporting me for the longest time. Probably one of my longest supporters. Much love to Mystic. Um, and that one guy said jealous, which Mystic's more of a bot than me, so there's no way he's jealous. PLX asked, why did you decide to grind Apex and be number one over any other game? Um, so I decided to grind Apex because it reminded me of Call of Duty. had a Call of Duty feel. I was already enjoying BR. I love Fortnite. But that first person and just like the way the guns felt and like the legends kind of cool because I came from Overwatch as well. It was like all mixed into one. And I loved it. And why and be number one over any other game. I haven't really ventured out to be number one in any other game yet. This was like kind of like my first taste of that. I always want to be good, of course, in Call of Duty and stuff like that. But like this is my first time I ever grinded for something and became number one for a legend and like known for from a lot of people that I'm really good at that legend. So maybe with Overwatch 2 coming out, I might experiment a little bit, but I doubt that. But so far, Apex has been the main game. It was fun grinding number one, and maybe a future game I might do the same thing. It's just having the right mindset, having the time in your hands, and if the right game comes along, I might change up and get number one in that. So these are all the questions, guys. I know it took a little longer than normal, 21 minutes. I probably could have answered. I could have rapid answered these, but I'm a bot lord. We'll learn. So here soon I'll do another video where I'll tell you guys to leave questions below. Of course, let me know what you guys think, how I should change this differently, because of course this is our first time doing this. If I should prep better somehow, or if I should already have the answers. So I'm gonna go off on random story times with C Flat 24. And if I should just ban people like Mystic, imagine. But yeah, let me know in the comments what y'all think. How I should do this differently. If it's fine, I should just probably just have the answers already pretty much written down and ready to read, so I can kind of rapid fire it. Um, but other than that, I appreciate all the questions, guys. It was more than I thought for the short amount of time I gave you guys. Compared like when I normally ask like certain things, this was actually huge. So this was a big success for that video. With you guys asking questions, as you guys see. It took me 22 minutes to pretty much go over this whole thing. I am a bot. I do talk forever, but I do appreciate all of the support. Again, comments below. Let me know what I should change about this. So see you guys in the next video. Also, new Bloodhound content coming soon because that's going to be the next video. Laters.